Today we're looking at lesson 83.
And then the widest constant, yeah, it shows the widest constant feature discussing the
Why for the my glasses?
it's over done.
We're looking at variable exponents. Product rule, if you have x to the a times x to the b, do you remember what you do with your exponents? You add them, x to the a plus b. We're going to be using that rule. And then we're also going to use the power rule. An exponent raised to something, a power raised to a power. What do you do with the a and the b? You multiply them. And so instead of x to the a to the b, it's x to the ab. We've used these properties before. Do you remember using them? But now we're going to have variables.
This light is
Okay? There was one of these on that test. There was one of these on the literary rally test.
Oh, I thought you were the last test. I was like, I must have got that one wrong because I didn't notice that.
No.
You just get it right.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
If you got it right, I was just like, oh my gosh, you got it right.
That's another one. Okay, so where are our x powers? What do we do with the powers? So we have x to the a plus a over 2. We'll simplify in a second. What about our y powers? We have a 2x and we have this one. And we add them as well. But if you look here, will these two combine? What is a plus a over 2? What is the number here? What's the number here? A 1. What's the number in front of this a? 1 over 2, right? What is 1 plus 1 over 2?
1 and 1/2.
1 and 1/2, right? Right? And they both have an a beside them. So it's x to the 3a over 2. Do you see how that works? You have 1 plus a half, you get 1 and a half a.
So if it was like 2a plus 2a over 3, it would be your variable.
Okay? Looking at the y value for our exponent. What's the number in front of our x? 2 plus what? Okay, so 2 plus 3 over 4. What is that? Right? So 11x over 4. And that's your answer.
You can't see this on paper, it's not hard.
Yeah, you might want to write these over 2 lines. Like if these are your lines, like how you would normally put your x here and your exponent up here, like put your exponent all, like just make it bigger. Does that make sense? Any questions? Okay, looking at another one. Yes. So, it's a little bit different. Now we have a fraction. We want it to be just like this answer was, with one x and one y. So how do we make it not a fraction? So you start by taking these two. What do you make negative? The exponent. The exponent. So it's negative 8 over 2. Does that make sense? And then the y to the negative 2a. Anytime you're moving them across a fraction, you always make the exponent negative, not the actual number. Any questions so far? Okay, now does it look similar to what we just had? Alright, so what are our exponents? What are our y exponents? Any questions so far? Okay, so on our x exponents, can we combine all three of these? Which ones can we combine? A and a over 2. So what is a minus a over 2?
Yeah, minus 1/2. So it's 1/2 A.
It's 1a minus 1/2 a. A half. Yeah. So you can put a 1, you can write it like this, or you can write it like that. They mean the same thing. Yeah. A over 2 or 1 over 2a. Either one. I don't care which way you write it. But do not write it like this with a 2a all in the denominator. Does that make sense? That's different than 1/2 a. So could we combine it with this one? So we just put it behind it. Any questions on the exponent? Okay. For the y one, which ones can we combine? A and negative 2a. What is a minus 2a? Negative a plus 4. If you have it 4 minus a, same thing. It doesn't matter the order of them. You see how that works?
If you're like putting a number into A to find out how you add them, then why don't you use like that's really cool.
Say it again.
You're putting
No. You're looking at the coefficient in front of a. There's just a 1 in front of the a.
It's the way you wrote it earlier, but like we're just substituting.
No, there's a 1 here, and there's a 1 understood 1 there. 1 plus 1/2. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See if you can think of what you might do to this. Alright, so what are we doing on this one?
Square root.
It's a product to a product, a power to a power. We're using this rule. What do we do with our exponents? We multiply them. So, what is a times 2? What is 2 times 2? And that is your answer. Do you see how that works? If you wanted to write it like this, x to the a plus 2 times x to the a plus 2, now what are you doing with your exponents? Adding them. What is a plus a? What is 2 plus 2? So do you get the same thing? But sometimes this number will be like a 5 or a 6, and you don't want to have to add them over and over again. Does that make sense? So you can do it this way, just it might take longer on some of them. Any questions on that problem? Okay. Looking at another one. Kind of combining both rules together.
Mine too. I do have anxiety right now. Like I've been like seeing like what grades I can get to like that's what I'm doing. And I'm like I figured out if I have an 87, I'll put an A in my average. That's like the as long as I make a 55 or above, I just.
Yeah, okay, let's one.
Alright, so what do we want to start by doing?
We want to move it up. Get rid of the.
Okay. Right? Now what else could we do? Make it x to the AB. I wrote it looked like a 9. So I wrote over it. And then we just have x to the A. Now what? It'd be A plus AB. Because they're not the same. So you just make them AB and then A, like you just keep them separate, but you just put a plus sign in between them because they're both positive. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then y'all are goofy. Any questions? Any questions from the lesson?